Hello world, my name is Ihor and today let's make a beat from scratch with Ableton Push 2 and Ableton Live obviously. But we're not gonna look into the computer screen with Ableton Live because the Push is more than enough. And this is perhaps my favorite way to use the Push 2. Just like a very powerful and actually very convenient groovebox. I also sometimes call it semi-DAWless, but I have to be careful with that. Anyways, as a foundation and inspiration for today's beat from scratch, I found this track on Tracklib. It's called Gaps by Computer, with a K instead of C. And it was released in 2001. I was a teenager back then. Now I wish I found this kind of music earlier in my life. This is a very beautiful, minimal, glitchy track, and the moment I've heard it, I instantly wanted to roll with it. Add some drums and bass line, And I think this is a very nice way to learn, practice, experiment, try new things, and get into the groove. So with this in mind, let's do it. And by the way, Tracklib is sponsoring this video, but about them later. Our setup today is quite straightforward. Ableton Push 2 over here. And I've preloaded the project that I prepared before, but it's also super straightforward. We've got 7 MIDI tracks here, which are basically empty, and I'm planning to use only samples on those. And I also prepared some sample packs here. If I go into the user files, samples, couple of sample packs from Blind Audio, Deep Tech and Modular Tech, and also from Splice, Organic Electronica Volume 3. And that's pretty much it. Then the 8th track called Gaps, it's basically the track that I got from Tracklib. And I've loaded this track over here, I warped it, and I found a couple of interesting loops over there, 4 bars each, and it's an audio track. Then we've got 2 return tracks for our delay and reverb. These are sound effects, and a master track with a limiter, and I'm also planning to use the glue compressor there. Nice, and now let's have a listen to our loops. So the first one sounds like this. So as you can see, it's a really beginning of the track. It's kind of like an intro, super dry sample. And then the next one is this. This one has a kick drum already and some other things going. Then there's this one. This one has additional percussion going and slightly different vibe. And then this one. This is another variation of the second over here, but all of them are pretty much from the same track, right? And first thing I would like to add is a kick drum. So I'm gonna start the first dry loop or beginning loop and go into the first MIDI track, browse. I'm gonna go into the Deep Tech sample pack from Blind Audio, drums, kick, and then let's try to find something. I very much like this one, but also I would like to saturate it. So I'm gonna switch it into the one shot mode so that whenever we play it, it's gonna play the entire thing, not just cut it when the note stops playing. So basically on the push, you have to think about different kind of screens that you have over here, or layouts. One is session, where you have all the clips over here, where you can launch different clips and also like copy paste and arrange stuff. And there is another one which called note, but for me it's more or less like a sequencer. You can change different layouts, having like the keyboard to play, or sequencer like this, or keyboard plus sequencer like this, and also you can hold layout and change the length of the MIDI clip that you're working on. I like this one, where the 4 top rows are the sequencer and the 4 bottom are the keyboards. So we've loaded our kick drum. Yeah, it's over here. But we can try also a different note together with a sample. Let's also set the accent to on so that we have the velocity at maximum all the time. I think this one will work. So if I use the fixed length and set 1 bar, it's gonna create the 1 bar MIDI clip for us if we put anything on the sequencer. And also I'm gonna switch into 1/8 over here and just put 4 triggers. Nice. Also, every device on the Ableton Push over here has internal menu. For example, over here, these buttons right now, they represent the tracks. But if you go and click on the simpler again, like, it's gonna go into internal simpler menu, and you will have, instead of tracks over here, additional menus of the device you're working on. So, and I'm gonna be utilizing this quite a lot in this video. So I'm gonna go inside of the simpler and decrease the volume of the kick drum. And now I'm gonna go into the filter. And here I would like to add some distortion. So we can select the filter circuit, different circuit. Let's start with this one and add quite a lot of drive, like this. And then we can try different circuits and hear how it sounds. Next one. Yeah, we maybe can leave it like this and then use filter a little bit. And then also filter envelope over here. Can make it sharp. And also let's make it quieter a bit. Let's have a listen. Yeah, I think like this is gonna work. Maybe we can try a different circuit. I actually like the OSR one. Okay, that's gonna work. Now let's go into the second MIDI track over here and try to find some sort of like a snare, but also I want to go into a little bit more experimental territory, not just a normal snare, but something rather weird. And for this one, I'm gonna go into the samples, splice, organic, electronica, drums. And then, yeah, maybe we can have a snap instead. Maybe this one. But again, we can go into the simpler, into the filter and add distortion to it. Yes. Yes, we can use it like this. And maybe instead of like low pass filter, we can use high pass. More distortion. And then maybe let's make it a bit quieter, like this. Nice. Now I'm gonna go back into this sequencer mode. And let's set the length to 4 bars. And I think I can record something. And instead of the snare to be on the second beat and on the 4th beat, I would rather prefer it to be on the 4th beat and then the last one on the 4th bar, somewhere different. So let's try to record it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not bad. Let's send it into reverb. Nice. Another cool thing about the Push that you can have the parameter locks, kinda. So whenever you hold the note over here, the screen switches into the like parameter lock mode, but also it's in the context of the current screen that you have here. For example, if you're on the mix, you have this mix stuff, right? And for example, if you were on the clip side, it's gonna be velocity and stuff related to the clip itself. And also you can do this on the device level, which is also gonna give you all kinds of different ideas. But now let's quantize it. Go back to mix, and I would like this one to go quite a lot into delay. And also let's go back to the clip mode and set probability of this one to something like 30%. So it's gonna happen once out of 3 times randomly. Didn't happen right now, but it will happen next time or some of the next times. And now let's add a hat. For the hat, I would like it to be quite classic. So deep tag, drums, hat. Let's have a listen what we have here. Yeah, I like this one. Again, give me my layout. Okay. What do we have? We have 4 bars. Let's switch into the 16th note over here. And yeah, do our stuff like this. And then we can also switch in between the pages. You know what? Let's actually delete this one, and instead I'm gonna go for 2 bar sequence and put it here. Nice. Again, we can use probabilities quite a lot, because I don't want this to happen all the time. So we can do something like with a lower velocity. And then we can also duplicate it into different places. So it's gonna create an interesting variation of our button. Nice. Let's also go into the device, into the simpler, and then into the filter, use the high pass. Oops, the high pass. Some distortion, so that it's a little bit more powerful. And then obviously we can mix it in a little bit better. Also, I think our track over here, the last one, is a little bit too loud, but also we have to work on it a little bit. So let me go back here into the guts. The thing is that some of these samples, or basically most of these samples, they have some drums and they have a kick drum, and I would like to get rid of it. So I'm gonna add a device here. Let's go into the audio effects and into the EQ and filters, and add a filter. So this filter is just right after the sample, and it's gonna be playing for all of these clips because it's on the track level. And let me mute all of these guys and start this. So this one has a kick drum, so we can use the high pass filter again. Yeah, and leave it somewhere around here. There is still click from the kick drum, but I'm not concerned about it because it's gonna play well with our kick drum, I think. But we remove the low end of the kick drum so that our kick drum can work better here or be more present. Let's have a listen. And also we can mix this down a little bit, this track, because I think it's a little bit too loud. Yeah, like this I think is fine. And maybe a little bit into the reverb. Hi-hats. They're a little bit too loud. Let's go into the device and also our snap. A bit of mixing, but that's fine. Also, what we can do here is add another device. And this one is going to be a little bit tricky, but it's absolutely possible to do it on push as well. So we're going to do the sidechain compression or the ducking effect. So I'm going to go and load compressor on track 8. And here again, I'm going into the inside of the compressor here, and we have these internal menus here. One is particularly interesting for us is a sidechain, and the source I'm going to put the kick. We switch the sidechain to on, and we let me switch off the EQ just for demonstration purposes, the sidechain EQ. And yeah, we pretty much ready to go. And now let me mute these guys and start the music. Now we have the kick drum going into our compressor on the track 8. But the shape is a little bit like too big. So I would like it to be a little bit more sharp. So I'm gonna go back into the compressor, and we can enable the sidechain EQ over here, which is gonna put the EQ equalizer and remove everything below 80 Hertz, or we can even make it 100 Hertz, for example, or something like that. And now if I go into the main, you can see that our signal became sharper. So also I have to switch into the peak mode, and then let's lower our threshold and find a nice combination of parameters. Very much like when the release is kind of long, creates this kind of pumping effect a little. And now we can actually go back into our mix here, maybe make it a little bit louder, because we have the sidechain, so kick right now is quite present. Yeah, I think it sounds really good so far. Nice. And the next thing I would like to work on is our effects, because we've got a little bit of effects going. For example, we've got this automation going into the delay, but I would like to work on delay a little bit more. So let me just send the entire snare or snap into the delay. And let's go into the delay itself. So I'm switching the screen into the device mode, and we have this delay going. If I go again into the delay, we have some additional things going. So I'm going to switch to the time and enable the ping pong mode. So let's have a listen. Yes. A bit more feedback. Okay, that's fine. Yep. For the filter, we can use the filter to remove the low end completely. We don't need it. And I think we're good to go with this delay. And now let's go into the reverb. Same thing, we go into it. And here the filtering is a little bit more tricky because it's not really visible here, but it works like this. You have the low cut and high cut thing. Basically, let me remove the high cut. I don't really need the high cut because I would like reverb to be bright. Basically, it has two filters, and then you define the width in between these two filters and where the frequency like point is. So it's kind of like a band pass filter with width, but yeah, whatever. So I'm gonna put it like this so that we remove some low end, but we keep all the high end inside of the reverb. And then I'm also would like to make it longer, like 5 seconds decay or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nice. I think it also needs the ducking effect or a compressor. I'm gonna go and add it. And yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Audio effects, dynamics, compressor. I guess I can skip this part. And then I would like to work on the bass line, but before doing that, let me tell you about the Tracklib. Tracklib is an online record store for sampling. It features a growing catalog of more than 100,000 original songs and multi-tracks for you to sample. Anything you sample from this website can get easily cleared with all the licensing, fast and affordable. Let me show you how it works. You can log in into Tracklib and use its browse feature, which features different kinds of highlights and collections to get some inspiration going. Or you can go into tracks and use its search engine to find tracks by BPM or even by range of years if you're interested in some particular period of time. Or you can go into catalog of genres and pick a specific genre that you're interested in. For example, R&B and soul. Let's pick the first one and listen to it. Tracklib also provides you with a couple of interesting features here. You can navigate the track randomly or loop a particular part of the track, like one bar, let's say, and listen how it loops, because they are beat matched, everything is to tempo and stuff like that, which is amazing. But what even better, that you can add beat to it, like this. But since this track has already drums on it, we can even go into the multi-track and, for example, find instrumental, no drums and no bass part, loop it, and add beat to it as well. Nice. We can add some ducking into our kick drum so that it ducks the melody, or even speed up the tempo. Nice. It's really great source of inspiration for me. And then if you want to release your track commercially, you can come back to this website and clear all the licensing for it quite fast and affordable. If you're interested in this amazing service, I've got a special offer for you. You can use a link in the description down below to get 30 days free trial and 15 credits on your account to download tracks on Tracklib, and that's actually a double comparing to the offer that they have on their website. Thanks Tracklib for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into it. And I would like to go into track 7 and add the bass line. Let's go into the browse and find some interesting bass line from our samples. On the push, by the way, you can also use quite a lot of other things like synthesizers and stuff like that, but I'd like to use just samples today. I like this one, distorted one. And yeah, let's go back into the note mode. Yeah, we can maybe saturate the thing a little bit. Something like this. And use an envelope for the pitch, not the pitch filter. Maybe we can go here. Yeah, like this, but I think it's a little bit too loud as well. And also I would like to switch it into the one-shot mode and only one voice as well. Nice. And since our track is in A flat major, so we can also use the scale and switch our push into A flat major. In the scale modes, these colorful pads, they become our root notes, and the rest of the notes, they always land into the scale. Perfect. So now we can actually try to play something in. Nope. Nope. Okay, that's gonna work. Let's also quantize it. Also, I think it's a little bit too loud. Let's go back into the simpler and into the global. Nice. We can also add some sidechain compression here as well. You got the idea, right? And with this ducking, it sounds like this. Also, I would like to add some filter here at our like loops and everything, and add some filter modulation. So let's go into the audio effects, filter, auto filter, load. We can also swap the devices here. So I'm gonna hold it and then rotate the encoder, and it moved the auto filter before the sidechain compressor. What we can do is let's also no remove some more low end from our samples, and then with this auto filter, I think inside we have an LFO, so I'm gonna make it synced and super slow, like 8 bars or something, and then we can route the LFO into the filter with high resonance. Nice. And let's do it. I think it's a little bit too much of resonance. Nice. Another cool thing that we can try is to load some kind of a loop and then change the loop a little bit, or work on the loop a little bit and mix it in. And for this, I'm gonna go into track number 6 and browse. And let's go into, again, user files, samples. We can use splice, loops over here, drums, organic loops, and then I think this one is gonna work very good. So let's put it here. So we've got our sample going, and I can go into the simpler and warp it as 4 bars. And now okay, that sounds very good. We can go into the 4 bars loop and switch the layout into this sequencer. Yeah, we can use this one. Nice. Let's go back into the simpler, and we can go into the filter. Let me find the band pass. And then we can overdrive the hell out of it. We can record automation, by the way. So if I enable or arm this automate thing here and then hit record, we can record the automation. You see? That's super cool. We can also add some panning automation. So random panning. And also a bit bit of spread. That's all good. And yeah, let's make it a little bit more quiet as well. One voice. And also let's add another device here, which is going to be the chorus. Slow, like this. Some feedback. And of course here, it wouldn't be me if I wouldn't add the ducking effect. And now it sounds like this. Maybe we can add some additional percussions here and there. So let's work on these two tracks. Track 4, I'm gonna go into Browse. Organic electronica, drums. Let's go for a clap. Yeah, maybe this one. And back into the notes, into my favorite layout. Maybe this one. Again, I very like to go into the simpler filter. This is perhaps because I like working on the digitact and, you know, the samplers. And usually filter is something you utilize quite a lot. When I'm usually working in Ableton, I think I never use that filter actually. But then when I use the Push as a drum machine or as a groovebox, I'm using it quite a lot. And then in the mixer, yes, I can do it like this. Yeah, maybe just as we have 4 bars here. Let's record. I think I've lost the kick drum a little bit in the mix. I'm gonna do it super wrong. I'm gonna make it louder. I don't think I'm clipping actually yet. So what our master says. Yeah, I'm fine. Nice. And let's utilize our last track over here and add another percussion there. And I'm gonna go into the browse and into the... Let's go into this modular thing over here. There's gonna be some interesting one-shots, I think. Whew. Do you think this kind of digital thing is gonna work? Yeah, let's try it. Why not? Yeah. Yeah, let's work on the sound a little bit. So I'm gonna go into the device, into the envelope. Let's make it short. And also let's use high-pass filter. Overdrive. Yeah, let's overdrive hell out of it. One voice. So it's an 8-bar sequence. Let's quantize it, obviously. And then it's only happening at the end of 8 bars and then at the beginning as well. I think that was not bad practice. I actually quite like it. And then we can, arrange this track going down and mix it a little bit more properly. But I think for now, it's kind of good. Let's also work on the master track. I'm gonna add glue compressor. I wish the glue compressor would have the visual representation on the push as it has on the Ableton Live with this arrow going. Let's also move it before the limiter. But we can also work like this. So I usually set the pick clips on and then lower the threshold. We can also use the sidechain EQ over here. Maybe somewhere around 120. And then yeah, like this I think is gonna be fine. And then we can make up a few dB back. And now we can A/B test as well. Let's see. So if I hold mute and then click on this glue compressor, no compressor, with compressor, I think about the same volume, maybe a touch louder, but anyways. That's pretty much it for today's video, and I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope you've learned something new for yourself that you can apply to your own music production workflow, or at least got inspired to go and make music. the part 2 video, I'm planning to have a closer look into the arrangement of this track on the Push 2, so stay tuned. There are several ways to support this channel. First of all, there is a Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Ihor or use the link in the description and consider becoming my patron. You will also get access to our Discord server. You can also like this video, subscribe to this channel, leave a comment down below, or hit this bell button to receive notifications, or even hit the thanks button over there. All this really helps this channel to get exposed to the larger audience. Or if you're interested in the gear that I feature in my videos, you can also use the affiliate links down below. And if you would like to check other Beats from Scratch videos, you can check either this one or that one. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, have fun.